you, Hugh. Good evening to you. And with 8 minutes to go at Old Trafford last week, there really wasn't too much jeopardy at all. United 2 up and coasting through to the Europa League semi-finals. But there's jeopardy now. Blighted by concessions, injuries and suspension. This second leg is laced with it. Savilla, the most successful club in the history of the competition. It's a club that won 4 times in 7 attempts, 6 times in all. A record they've assembled with some stellar performances at the Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan. Home failures in this competition are very rare. But United's dominance in the first half last week underlined their superiority. They are facing a side 2/3 of the way down La Liga. Yes, there's jeopardy, but Manchester United remain favourites. And with the form that Sevilla have been in, they're going to win this competition. And this is a night that, as United, you would expect to be able to navigate. They line up with David De Gea in goal. The back four of Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Lindelof and Dalot, Eriksen and Casemiro, Anthony, Sabitzer and Sancho, and Anthony Martial up top. The bench, Malacia and Shaw, Fred and Iqbal, Langer, Pellistri, Rashford and Weghorst, and the keepers of Butland and Vita. Sevilla, Bono in goal. Navas, Barde, Marçal and Acuna, Vidalia and Fernando, Campos, Rakitic and Lamela, and En-Nesyri up front. Their bench, Alex Telles on loan from Manchester United, Rekic, Nianzou, Oliver Torres, Papa Gomez, Brian Hill, Suso, Rafa Mir, the one-time Charlton goalkeeper Dimitrovic, and Alberto Flores, another young goalkeeper, makes up the bench as well. Andy Townsend alongside me. So what are you expecting though over 90 minutes? I'll make no bones about it, but this still feels, even in a difficult atmosphere, like a time Manchester United should be able to win.
I think so too. I agree with you, Jim. I think as well when Ten Hag has to turn to the bench, if he does late on, he's got great options there now. Sevilla have improved fundamentally lately. Their results have been better, but they're not an outstanding team. There is no doubt about that. And I don't think ordinarily United would be massively phased about coming here and getting a result. It's just the history they have in this competition that is this incredible stat of continually winning matches in Europe here. So that can sometimes work against you. Don't let all that history persuade your mind to think that you can't come here and do the job and that you can't get it done. I still think United have got better players. They showed that for like 80 odd minutes last week. They just unfortunately gave away 2 really poor goals, but I'm expecting United somehow to get the job done tonight.
So Juventus or Benfica awaiting the winners of Sevilla against Manchester United. It's going to be United that will get the game off and running. And kicking from left to right as we look at their red shirts and black shorts. Sevilla in all white with black socks. And they're defending the end away to the right hand side. Arthur Diaz from Portugal is the man with the whistle, gets us underway. It is a makeshift centre-half partnership by any stretch of the imagination. Lindelof and Harry Maguire at the heart of the Manchester United defence. It's also by no means the first choice partnership these days, but both of them with plenty of miles on the clock. But those two up against En-Nesyri, that could be one of the key battles as far as United are concerned. Wan-Bissaka with the backfield flick that didn't quite come off, and an opportunity for Sevilla to bring it forward here. Rakitic thought that he'd won the first corner. He's judged to have hit Wan-Bissaka and bounced back into him, and it is a goal kick. The replay suggests it should have been a corner.
Yeah, should have been a corner actually. Then Rakitic here sprinting to the byline to try and cut that back, as you would expect. Sevilla not hanging around in terms of pressing and forcing errors out of Manchester United. The opening moments, United trying to play out from the back. The white shirts are flying out at them.
Elsewhere in the Europa League, there's already been a goal by Leverkusen, taking the lead away to Union Saint-Gilloise of Belgium. And Diaby is scoring that inside the opening 90 seconds. And that puts Bayer Leverkusen 2-1 up on aggregate. This one 2-2 on aggregate. No away goals these days, of course. It'll just be played 2 extra time, and then a penalty shootout on the agenda if necessary as well. Wan-Bissaka tried to bring it forward, but it's won back by Sevilla in the midfield with Eric Lamela. Now playing it to Vidalia. Vidalia to Marçal, the shaven-headed Brazilian centre-half, back to his goalkeeper Bono. That was a very poor clearance from him, and then the best ball either from Jadon Sancho, expecting Anthony Martial, and they were darting run down the inside left channel. It wasn't forthcoming, and it goes out of play for a goal. For a couple innings, 0-0, 2-2 on that.
Yeah, Bono there, the Sevilla goalkeeper, poor when the ball come back to him. Just knocked that one straight to Jadon Sancho, just didn't have that clear picture in his mind exactly what to do. I think we United have to be a little bit careful. Don't get too caught up in just trying to slow it down too much, trying to take the sting out of the atmosphere too much. I think they pose a far greater cutting edge than the home team here tonight, so make sure that they impose themselves at the right times.
Maguire's just been caught there by Rakitic as the long ball was played forward. Maguire ended up getting caught around the side of the face. We were talking about that Manchester United bench off air, Andy. The other two defenders are Malacia and Shaw. That's it. Shaw has played at centre half, but the one thing that Manchester United really don't need between now and the end of the season is another injury to a centre half. You lose something from the midfield if you jump in Casemiro in there, and Shaw, of course, not quite fully fit.
No, absolutely right. I mean, that would be particularly unlucky. That always hurts teams when you do have multiple injuries in a key area. And so United, you're right, just hopefully that the players will get through this one tonight.
Savilla has gone down holding his face. He's been caught, and there's an angry reaction. Harry Maguire has gone across to the assistant referee and is having a word with him. There are two Sevilla players there as well. Three more, including Eric Lamela and Gudelia, are by the referee. We're just having another look at it. It was strong defending from Marcel. Sabitzer trying to play the ball before it went over the line, and Marcel just leant into him. The problem that he had is not much of a run-off. Marcel shoved him with his shoulder, and Sabitzer went down. He hit his head on one of those drinks.
Yes, like a big ice bucket, isn't it? Yeah, with all the drinks in, and Sabitzer, he sent him flying there. The reason why, Jim, as well, Sabitzer's kind of on the half turn, trying to keep the ball in from going out for a throw in, trying to turn it down the line, and because he's sort of on the half turn and backpedaling a little bit, Marcel clatters into him and he can't stay on his feet, and he slides across the AstroTurf, goes clattering into that ice bucket and the seats on the Sevilla bench. Thankfully he's back up on his feet.
Marcel spoken to by the referee, nothing more than that. Christian Eriksen will take charge of the free kick. Savitzer will be on in a moment. In he comes, and Bono punched it clear. He's only about 4 inches off the ground by the time he got to it. But instead of trying to volley it away, it really died on him. He almost walked the length and didn't get it away. But he was very unorthodox goalkeeper. David De Gea then at the other end, as Savilla whacked it upfield. He sweeps it straight out of play for a throw that will be taken over on the Sevilla right-hand side. Just getting another view on it, and he did die on him very quickly, but he made a right near him.
He certainly did. I mean, just catch that. You often see that in our goalkeepers. They'll always tell you that the ball moves a bit more, etc., etc. Well, it won't move in that much. You could easily have called that. He punched it, as you say, Jim, about 6 inches off the floor.
It's Dalla. Plays 100th game for Manchester United at the weekend. Again sweeping a long ball full from him, and it's gone straight through to Bono again on the edge of his penalty area. He hasn't played any of the last 3 league games. They've been alternating between him and Dimitrovic, who has got a really good record this season. The man on the bench today, he's got 9 clean sheets in 17. Bono only 5 in 31 in all competitions this season. He has already shown a few early nerves and signs of shakiness. Playing the ball back to his goalkeeper. Sevilla with a half-hearted press, but United weren't really punished by that. 6 minutes in, it's 0-0, and the United centre-half having a go. Lindelof working it forward. Played expertly through the midfield. Savitzer are able to help it on down towards Anthony. Wan-Bissaka take the up with advanced position. Savitzer finds space, but he didn't find Martial, and it was knocked away easily by Bada.
Unlucky. Already United have shown some decent stuff when they've got the ball at their feet. Anthony involved a lot down United's right side. Sabitzer there, that pass just under hit a little bit towards Martial, but they've actually started the game, the opening 6.5 minutes, United okay. They've again been quite progressive when they've had the chance to get it into their forwards and get it into their feet. Again, just now the next phase for them is to start working Bono in goal.
Savilla has certainly become increasingly influential as the time has gone on in this Manchester United loan spell that he's had. He's been playing that little bit further forward, and it's brought the best out of him. He's a good interchange between him and Marcus Rashford when the two play together. And Rashford will frequently drop off, and Savilla has made runs in behind him, with Rashford at times almost playing as a false nine, bent Savilla forward, and they've done it very effectively. No signs necessarily that he's got the same kind of cohesion and understanding with Anthony Martial at the moment, but it'll come. Maguire, United captain, playing the back forward ahead and getting a return ball. He didn't want, and he's presented it straight to En-Nesyri, and he's put into the net. It's a terrible goal for Manchester United to concede.
Disaster.
Architects of their own downfall again, determined to play out from the back. Harry Maguire getting the ball from David De Gea, and he didn't get a shout. Not only did he not want the ball there, but seemingly didn't get a shout where to put it next, that he had three players converging on him, and then En-Nesyri just nicked it off him and fires it into the bottom left-hand corner. It's a shocking goal.
Yeah, it certainly is. Maguire went back to David De Gea with the ball, who had lots of time. Then Maguire's position is in a straight line from the goalkeeper on the edge of the 18-yard box. De Gea doesn't need to give him it. He's surrounded by white shirts. Go long, go somewhere else. Don't go Harry Maguire with his back to play. Receiving a straight ball there is a nightmare. And he's given that straight to En-Nesyri, who's pinched it off Harry Maguire's toes, and he's very, very comfortably knocked it in the back of the net. That's exactly the start that Savilla wanted. Disastrous for United.
As you said, En-Nesyri gets the goal. It's his 50th in Sevilla colours, 70th goal of his career. It's his second in this competition this season. It was so good.
Oh God, that is unbelievably poor, Jim. That really is. There is no need to concede a goal like that. That is just poor decision making from experienced lads. That can't happen.
Well, the other game in this group is Sporting 0, Juventus 1. Say in this group, sorry, the other game in this half of the draw is Sporting 0, Juventus 1. So that would be Juventus 2-0 up on aggregate. Still Manchester United there in this game. You look at Talksport 2, Jim Platt, talking through the action, and the atmosphere has just ratcheted it up another couple of notches.
Well, so it's the perfect start for them. It really is. You know, again, I mentioned United have been very comfortable in possession of the ball, but it's almost like they're slowing it down, going back to the goal. De Gea's not good with his feet, never has been, never will be. Don't have to keep going back to him. If you're in trouble, or if you're under pressure, just serve the ball forward. But that's really careless from United, that is.
But there's no way under those circumstances that Erik ten Hag would have expected David De Gea to do what he does. But if he's preaching a tactic of playing out from the back,
yeah, and deliberately sort of slowing proceedings down. There's a way you do that. There's always trying to play it back to a goalkeeper that isn't the most competent or comfortable with the ball at his feet. It's a fact. And Gea just isn't. And he tries to roll a dead straight ball into Harry Maguire, who's on the edge of the 18-yard box with his back to play. He doesn't know who's around him. They pinched it off him, and En-Nesyri just rolls it into the corner. And look, the atmosphere, as you say, Jim, now goes up 2 or 3 levels. They're on the front foot. They're now contesting every loose ball, pressurising United into more mistakes.
And Maguire will be able to play it forward. Anthony coming to meet it. That's one throw. They've just got to make sure that they don't capitulate here. And that's 3 goals that they've conceded in 14 minutes of play in this time. Now, either side of the week's break between these two legs. To make sure that there's an element of reality about it from a Manchester United perspective. Anthony just got caught there on the back of the calf by Rakitic, and the experienced Portuguese referee has given the free kick Manchester United's way. He almost took his boot off in the process as well. That was a good turn by Anthony. United have just got to rebuild. You've got to concede enough goal, make sure you concede it early, I guess, rather than late. Eriksson playing back for Lindelof here. West Ham live on Talksport 2 right now, still 0-0, and that's 1-1 on aggregate. Sancho winning a throw from Loic Barde. Barde will play it back towards Anthony Martial. Outside the penalty area, an opportunity for Manchester United to try and make something happen. Eriksen is back to the direction of play, has just lost out. They have become a lot more compact since Mendelebar took over, and a lot more, not agricultural necessarily, but they will. Sevilla be determined not to be caught in possession out the back. They don't try and play out for playing out's sake. There's Navas on the right-hand side, very much a right-back these days. Wins the throw off Jadon Sancho. 12 minutes in, Sevilla leading Manchester United 1-0 on the night and 3-2 on aggregate.
Well, what that mistake will do, that will certainly reset the United mindset in not just trying to kill the game, not just trying to run the clock down too much. Now, of course, behind in the tie, they've got to start making inroads. They've got to start playing their football in the top half of the field, which is where they should be doing it. I think they're more than capable of doing it, but they gifted bad goals last week, and that's an awful situation tonight. That really is. They have handed Sevilla the perfect boost in the opening 12 minutes of the game.
You're listening to the Europa League live on Talksport with Till, the card payment provider from NatWest. Sevilla 1, Manchester United 0. Eriksen caught in possession. The Spaniards are able to bring it forward. Good movement off the ball coming from Eric Lamela. Kelly is able to pick it up inside the centre circle. Plays it back for Marcel. They missed him this season, the Brazilian that they signed from Galatasaray, but he's been injured for most of the campaign and hasn't featured anything like as much as they would have liked him to. Rakitic lays it off for Ocampos. Navas has made a darting run forward down the Sevilla right-hand side. Played back for his former Manchester City teammate Fernando, another man who played more than 100 games on the other side of Manchester. Lamela's got it now. 200 Tottenham games behind him in his career. Back for Fernando, the veteran in the orange boots in the midfield. Playing forward, and Wan-Bissaka came to meet Rakitic, who laid it off, and just as he spun to flick the ball away, Wan-Bissaka caught him. And he's given away a free kick in a really dangerous area here. It's about 8-9 yards outside the penalty area and almost plumbates him.
He's never really getting there, is he, Aaron Wan-Bissaka? He's trying to close Rakitic down, all the right intentions, but again, just get as close as you can, stay on your feet, don't commit to those challenges, because the minute you touch anybody around the edge of the box, you know they're hitting the floor and they're going to get these free kicks. So there's a chance here for Sevilla. They've got one in their back pocket, gifted to them already. Now they're within shooting distance again.
Well, there are 4 in the wall. Jadon Sancho, a thick Manchester United player, lies down on his back behind the wall. Sabater is there as well, almost in a second slip position to the wall. Rakitic looks the favourite. Minimal run-up, right-footed effort, low into the wall, and then blocked well by Casemiro, who sprinted out from the wall to win the seconds. And a slightly awkward piece of control from Casemiro, but in winning it back, he's been able to punt it upfield and try and get Anthony going. So Anthony with the first opportunity to run at Marcel, and he's laid it off. Marcel's put him on the deck. Play goes on. Anthony back on his feet very quickly. Gudelia has a nibble at him, and then Marcel similarly tries to flick it away, and then he played it into Acuna, who's diving in. And he's claiming a free kick for a handball, and he might well have had a case in the Manchester City game last night. They'd definitely have given something for that.
They certainly would have. They're throwing themselves into every challenge, the Sevilla players. Anthony has some good play from him. He was released by Casemiro, had to hold it up and wait for support. And eventually he manages to draw a handball off of Acuna, who goes diving in, flying at him from about 15 yards away, but hits his hand, and Eriksen has a free kick on the right side, right by the corner flag.
So Eriksen to take it, raises his left arm above his head. Now he swings it in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, and it's headed away. Back from Anthony, not to good effect. He just threw a left leg at it, and it's just passed straight out of play into the hoardings behind the goal and out for a goal kick. Just get another view of the goal that Manchester United conceded, and it looks worse every time you see it.
Yeah, it does. It does. Because they set the trap there, Sevilla. They offered the ball back to David De Gea from Harry Maguire, and then and then they're waiting to pounce if they try and play their way out too much, and that's exactly what's happened. The goalie has to recognise Maguire might be standing there, might be saying he wants it. When you got that ball at your feet, you're the boss. You are in control. Don't give him it if there's risk attached to it. Unnecessary.
Now Maguire will try and head it back to his goalkeeper, but De Gea had come outside of his penalty area, so Maguire couldn't head it back to him and was forced to sweep up instead to knock it away under pressure and put it out of play for a throw.
There's nothing cultured about what Savilla are doing. They're playing with real intensity, they're squeezing and they're chasing after everything, but they're going quite long. Every time they go in behind that United back line, you just feel something might happen. You're right, Jim. De Gea there needlessly beyond the edge of the 18-yard line. Harry Maguire would rather have just seen him on the penalty spot where he can knock it back to him.
Acuna has the throw. It's played back to him. Then Rakitic drives it in. Too much on that for Navas at the far post. Navas, though, loved the quality. Campos, I beg your pardon, loved the quality of the ball that was played to him, the idea of it, but it just didn't quite come off. But Harry Maguire motioning, as we see a replay of that incident, motioning to David De Gea that there should have been more communication.
Yeah. Give me a shout. Exactly.
They take a goal kick and they take it short, then he turned to play out from the back again, but then when it comes to Maguire he does punt it upfield. And Anthony Martial had a loan spell, not a particularly successful one here at Sevilla last season. He tries to hold it up but he can't. Sevilla win it back, goes out of play for a throw that Casemiro will take. 18 minutes gone, Sevilla 1, Manchester 0 here on Talksport. It's 3-2 to the Spaniards on aggregate. The last one this competition back in 2020 when they beat Manchester United en route in the semi-finals. 2-1 victory in Cologne. That was in the COVID days and it wasn't a two-legged semi-final through necessity. Sevilla also beat Manchester United in the round of 16 of the Champions League back in 2018 when Wissam Ben Yedder scored a couple of goals late on at Old Trafford. So this is a fixture that Manchester United have never won. Could get through the draw and success on penalties tonight, but at the moment they find themselves behind. Rakitic playing it forward. Acuna, World Cup winner, thrashes in a left-footed cross. Here's a Campos on the right-hand side of the penalty area. Lamela peeled away. There's a ball that hit Dallo and bounces over the line and out of play for what has been given as a goal kick. And I thought that was a corner as well.
Yeah, Campos is furious. He feels that was a corner. Dallo got close and closed him down. I think it actually was a corner. I think the last touch is actually off of Dallo's hand, actually. The ball ricochets up off the floor, hits his hand. Last night I saw a penalty given for something very similar to that against Manuel Akanji. You know, it was crazy. Absolutely balmy decision, that one. But just there, Sevilla not getting the rub of the green.
I know the VAR, Thiago Martins, did have a look this time as well, but check was over very quickly. Marcel trying to bring the ball forward, he's been fouled, and then Casemiro plays on. Once the whistle had blown, Casemiro saying, "I'm very sorry, I didn't hear it." We mentioned earlier before the game started, he's got to be careful. He's on a yellow card, and Manchester United can turn this around. He would miss the first leg of the semi-final through suspension if he's booked tonight. It was Savilla that gave the initial free kick away, but Casemiro, in playing on and whacking the ball clear, was the man that got himself on the wrong side of the referee. No yellow card.
Yeah, Marcel's a big man, isn't he? He's clearly there. He saw Sabitzer come in, so stepped across, put his leg between the United man and the ball, knowing full well that he's going to feel some contact, hit the floor, gets the free kick.
Young Englishman Marcus Edwards has scored for Sporting. Sporting 1, Juventus 1. So that's 2-1 to Juventus on aggregate, but Sporting back on level terms after Adrian Rabiot's opener for the old lady tonight. Bayer Leverkusen leading away to Union Saint-Gilloise of Belgium 1-0. They're 2-1 up on aggregate. Still Roma 0, final 0, 1-0 to final on aggregate. That's how the games are in the Europa League at the moment. And in the Conference League, AZ leading Anderlecht by 2 goals to 0. That one seconds away from the penalty shootout. Fiorentina got through after a scare against Lech Poznan, beaten at home tonight, but they have made it through. Nice lead Basel by a goal to 0 with Laborde, Gaetan Laborde, the man that scored the goal in that game. That's 3-2 on aggregate to the French team. Still West Ham 0, Ghent 0. One dead level at 1-1 on aggregate at the moment. And that is live for you right now over on Talksport 2. This one approaching the midway stage of the first half here on Talksport, and Manchester United have got work to do.
Yeah, they have. I want to see the front three get involved more. We've seen flashes from Anthony, nothing yet from Jadon Sancho down United's left. Not had the ball really, they've not been able to get it to him. Nothing either from Anthony Martial. Got to make sure those boys up front that if they're not necessarily receiving the best kind of service, that there's still a real nuisance factor attached to what they're doing, that they're always worrying and causing them problems.
And here is Sancho with an opportunity, the first opportunity to run at Jesus Navas. He plays it off towards the edge of the penalty area. It's Wan-Bissaka straight at the goalkeeper. Well, the initial effort that came in was from one Manchester United player straight into another, but then it broke Wan-Bissaka's way. But he didn't really want that to fall to a man who's only scored 2 senior goals in his career. First one hitting Savilla. Wan-Bissaka could do no more than just hit the target.
Yeah, he was just only concerned really with hitting the target there. Wan-Bissaka head down, should have really hit through it a bit more.
United on the front foot again. Savilla again making his way forward into the danger areas. A collision involving Martial and Gudelia. Play goes on. Eriksson trying to cut the ball back from the dead ball line. And the loose ball ricochets out towards the corner flag, where it's whacked into Sancho and goes out of play for a goal kick. Well defended Navas.
Yeah, again, Jim, I think whenever we see United playing a bit more purposefully, with a little bit more intent to try and get in behind Savilla, they look like they can do it quite comfortably. They look like they can get into some dangerous areas. They're just overplaying at times at the back. Now, as I mentioned, the fact that they've conceded already on the night sloppily, hopefully they'll eradicate that from their game and just start looking forward a bit more. Nothing wrong when you're under pressure, turning Savilla around, get them running back towards their own goal. They'll end up knocking it out for a throw. Team, you can then get up the field, you can start to build a bit of momentum. Just don't invite trouble. They've got more than enough, United, to get back into this.
In all competitions this season, incidentally, when they've gone 1-0 down, they've actually won as many games as they've lost from that position. Won 7 and lost 7 in all competitions, including a come from behind win against Barcelona in the Europa League. But making life a little bit harder for themselves tonight in southern Spain, where night has now fallen. 24 minutes in, Savilla 1, Manchester United 0. All Live Football coming your way tomorrow. It's exclusive to Talksport, the latest instalment in that absorbing title race. Arsenal, top of the table, take on basement boys Southampton. 8 o'clock, the kick-off with Sam Leatherface and Leanne Sanderson talking through the action from the Emirates tomorrow, with Hugh Rosencroft in the chair again. And Talksport there up at 7 ahead of an 8 o'clock kick-off tomorrow. Arsenal against Southampton, and then Manchester United next in action, the FA Cup semi-final, the second semi-final. We've got them both for you. Manchester United's game against Brighton, 4:30 kick-off on Sunday, and Saturday to Manchester City, Sheffield United. That's a 4:45 kick-off Saturday tea time.
Yeah, Marcel Sabitzer again there committing another foul. Just be a little careful. Don't want to rack up too many back-to-back too quickly, or either end up getting yourself a yellow card.
So Rakitic stands over the free kick. Barney has made his way forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Rakitic taking this free kick, just knocked in short. Gudelia, after Fernando's slightly misjudged layoff, was still able to make something of it. Sabitzer then whacks it away on the edge of his own penalty area. Casemiro climbing high, taking an awkward fall over Rakitic. Rakitic allowed to play on, just tries to knock it in towards En-Nesyri on the edge of the penalty area, but it's clear. Back for Lamela. Good movement off the ball again from the Sevilla number 10. Ivan Rakitic playing it back towards the edge of the box. Good first touch from Gudelia. Took a couple of United players out of it. Header comes in, and Campos trying to get in, and he very nearly was there to bundle it in from about 3-4 yards out. Credit to Dallo, who somehow stopped him doing it.
Big chance that, very close. Clever ball into the box from Gudelia. Look, the Bona there to the far post. It gets nodded back in. And Campos just looks like he's sneaking in behind Diogo Dallo, in between the defender and the goalkeeper. And in the end, it's De Gea who comes out and just manages to get a hand on that.
Well, elsewhere, Ghent lead at West Ham by a goal to 0. over on Talksport 2. Manchester United giving a daft goal away. And Lucas Paquetá guilty of something not dissimilar in that game at the London Stadium. Just a sloppy ball from inside his own penalty area, and then so many chances for West Ham to clear it. And eventually it is bundled over the line, and West Ham trail there 1-0 on the night and 2-1 on aggregate. Now, again, on the line, probably should have done better with that. That game is live for you right now with Alex Crook and Matt Holland over on Talksport 2. The problem in this game for Marçal, the Brazilian centre-half, who's just trying to play a routine ball out from the back, and it's almost like his left leg is given away from underneath him as he's cleared it, and he's gone down in so much pain he's not going to be able to continue.
Not at all, no. It looks like he's either pulled a thigh or his hamstring there, because it was a pretty straightforward ball. He was clipping up the line with his left foot. As you say, Jim, as soon as he hit it, he just crumpled to the floor. Looking at the medical team that are around him, it looks like the hamstring has gone.
So he's not going to be able to play any further part there. Getting a player ready on the bench. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Nianzou that comes on to replace him. You talked about that fantastic piece of skill from Gudelli, the Rabona cross. It's just a magnificent ball inside the penalty.
It really is. I mean, it always amazes me with that bit of skill. It was lovely to watch. I mean, he could have done it with his left foot, but actually it was a brilliant cross to the far post that Lamela headed back into the danger zone, and Ocampos very nearly got a touch which would have ended up in the back of the net. De Gea it was who stepped off the line and just manages to get a hand on it first, but Marçal going off in some distress. He's upset because he don't want to miss this one, and he looks like he's pulled his hamstring, I think, and he probably knows he's going to be out for a while now.
Well, that's been the story of his season. It's only his 10th game of the campaign. Now that's interesting. But they've taken a centre-half off and they brought a winger on. Suso, the one-time Liverpool player. So Nianzou was getting ready. They changed their mind. He appeared to indicate the coach and Suso, when he came on, that they were going to go to maybe a back three. So it'll be interesting to see exactly how they shuffle things around. But Suso on for Marçal.
I think that's a real positive move, that, from the coach, and I think that's one that he senses there's an opportunity for his team, having got the lead, that they can go and add to it. It looks like they are going to. Looks like Gudelli actually has gone in there as a centre-half, Jim, doesn't it?
It doesn't look like a back three at the moment, does it? Gudelli playing at centre-half alongside Bardet. As De Gea comes out and clears to the edge of his penalty area more effectively that time. Navas at right back might play in a little bit more to offer a little bit more protection. Rakitic is sitting a little bit deeper than he did before, and Suso, who can play as a winger, he can play as a 10, he can play through the middle, but he's got the ball now tapping the edge of the penalty area. Navas with a deep cross towards the far post, brilliantly brought down by Ennasiri. Lamela with the layup. Rakitic's shot, bearing in mind the quality of the move that had preceded it, was woeful, and it's drifted well outside the penalty area, and Manchester United will be able to bring it away. We're half an hour in, United trail 1-0, and Sancho bringing it forward for them. They haven't had a worthwhile opportunity.
No, they haven't. No, they haven't. Again, they've got into some good areas, but without really providing that opportunity for somebody. Or I'd just like to see the front boys. Sancho has carried the ball nicely from the halfway line to the edge of the box. Now he's got to start going past somebody. Got to start committing defenders, dragging them out of position. Same with Anthony over on his other side. Martial, a spectator, happens too often for me with him. Don't ever see enough nuisance factor in his game where he worries people enough when his team aren't particularly playing that well. You need your boys up front really putting a shift in. At the moment, they're spectators.
Had a dozen games on loan at Savilla last season, scored just the once. Comes into this one with 7 for Manchester United this season, but only one of those in his last 5, which came against Everton. From Maguire at the back. This mistake after a horrible pass to him from Gary De Gea, leading to the early concession. Savilla had led this one since the 8th minute in the series. Going forward again for Sabater, who frequently will find himself as the most advanced of the United players, headed away by the off-balance of Cunha, who came on as a substitute in the World Cup final. Wan-Bissaka doing well to win it back, won the battle with Eric Lamela, but Cunha can stab it forward again. And Savilla will play it through the midfield, an opportunity for Suso to make a little bit of headway.
He's immediately got involved, hasn't he, Suso, since coming on, since replacing Marcel. Udelia, who was sat in there alongside Fernando, has dropped into that back four, but he might step in a little bit more with the ball as well. And naturally, he'll do that, and he can do that quite well.
Eriksson hooking it forward, trying to turn Barde. Barde able to get it back for his goalkeeper. He's had an interesting season, Loic Barde, who's one of the 205 players Nottingham Forest side in the summer. I lost count in the end, but he never made an appearance for them. He was one that was on the books on loan, but that loan spell didn't work out for him, so he's come to Sevilla for the second half of the season. Scored at Valencia at the weekend, and when he was sitting unable to get on the Nottingham Forest bench, I doubt he thought that he would be in a European quarter-final before the end of the season. But that's the situation. 12 minutes to go to half-time. Both English clubs losing their respective ties on the night and on aggregate at the moment. On Talksport 2 right now. Again, leading at West Ham. Carpus scored that goal. And this one, it's Sevilla 1, Manchester United 0. AZ won that penalty shootout incidentally against Anderlecht, so they are through to the semi-finals of the Conference League, and that's who West Ham will get if they can sort themselves out at home tonight. Ocampos going down, claiming that he was given a shove by Anthony Martial in the face. Campos getting back to his feet, just gives a knowing look and a glare at Martial. It will be a free kick that'll be taken by Sevilla. Haven't really beaten anybody at home this season. They've beaten Mallorca. Their other wins in La Liga have all come against bottom six sides. I suppose the most notable scalp that they have taken at home this season was PSV. In this competition, they've beaten Copenhagen and Fenerbahce in Europe as well. But when the big hitters have come to Seville this season, the home side have lost here to Barca, to Atletico, to Manchester City, where they were embarrassed, to Borussia Dortmund as well. But they've been the better side tonight, albeit that United have had more possession.
They have, but they look a little dangerous when they're getting into better areas, I think, Sevilla. They're looking to get it in the box, get white shirts in there, try and make something happen when that ball arrives. United have been a little pedestrian with their forward play, a little too predictable. At least the home team are playing with a little bit more intensity and are trying to make something happen. Nothing particularly special about what they've done, but certainly they're up for it. They look like they're a team knowingly they're coming into this one as second favourites, but are trying to make it happen, and they've got a lead so far.
And Hughes talking in the build-up to the game about Mendelebavi, the coach, who's in his 60s. This is his first ever European tie, which shows that he's been around the block a bit, but never really in the upper echelons. And Hugh mentioned his quote where he was talking about the fact there's no point in coming to scout us. You know what we're going to do. But knowing what's happening and being able to deal with it can sometimes be two completely different things. As Anthony flashes in a cross, Casemiro forward heads it over the bar. It's a sight of goal, very difficult chance. And at least Manchester United going in the right direction. But what does Ten Hag need to do to sort this out, Andrew?
Well, I think again what we saw there, we've just seen Casemiro make a run into the box to try and get on the end of the Anthony cross. It's just a fraction too big for him, and he can't quite get the header on target. But United again, more intensity in what they're doing at the top of the field. I don't like it when they get too passive and start going sideways and backwards, and that was the mindset from the start. You could tell with United, quite neat and tidy in possession. Don't be in a rush to do anything. Go back to the goal if we have to. Reset, restart. Created their own problems and ended up conceding a goal. So now they've got to look a little bit more up-tempo about what they're doing.
Free kick has gone United's way against Acuna, who hated the decision. Casemiro takes it and he swept it from the right-hand touchline right out to the left-hand side. Dallo was waiting for it to drop. Rakitic and the Campos between them made sure that it didn't. Campos flicking it away and winning the throw. Everything's been a little bit too predictable really for Manchester United.
And in front of the Sevilla back line. Every time United, whatever they've done, it's been in front of a back four that have been able to deal with it. The difference makers in top football, they're those boys up front, they're those wide players nowadays. So Anthony, and certainly Anthony Martial as well as Jadon Sancho, they're the boys that have been tasked tonight with trying to make the difference for this United team. Haven't seen any of that so far.
It's Navas laying it off for Lamela. Rakitic has it now, 10 yards outside the penalty area. Back from him to Fernando. Veteran of half a dozen or so Manchester derbies in his time with City. Gudelia, and for Rakitic again. A little bit deeper after the change was made to bring Suso on. Left-footed ball inside the penalty area from Acuna. And Victor Lindelof's there to be able to head it away. Back from Fernando now. United can't get out of their own defensive third at the moment. Suso doing well to turn and work the ball forward. And Anthony's going to be able to bring it away as West Ham equalise live on Talksport 2. At home again, it's Mick Antonio that has got the goal. 1-1 on the night, 2-2 on aggregate live on Talksport 2 right now. Christian Eriksen bringing it for Fernando. He just knocks it away from him on the edge of the penalty area. And very intelligently works it back through the midfield for Campos. Campos has spent the first half of the season on loan out at Ajax in surplus to requirements, but he's done well since coming back. He's laid it off here for Eric Lamela. Lamela trying to ride the challenges on the edge of the area, but stabs it towards goal where De Gea can make a comfortable slot.
Went the wrong way there, Eric Lamela. Typically, he was tippy-tapping the ball like he used to when he was at Spurs, and never really convinced me that he knew exactly where he was going with that. Rakitic had made a good run beyond him and round him. That really would have been better served rolling it to Rakitic and letting him get on with it.
Lamela did lose an FA Cup semi-final against Manchester United in his Tottenham days. He only ever scored one goal against United. All the way back by Nasiri to Rakitic and him to Bardet. Barney's giving it away, straight to Sancho. Sabitzer picking it up. Martial makes his way to the middle. It really was a something or nothing ball to try and find him, and Anthony is making the point that had it been played at a better angle towards the edge of the 6-yard box, he would have been able to run onto it from an onside position and may well have scored. Decision making not the best from United around the final third at the moment, and so they were able to bring it forward as a result of that. It's all too easy for Fernando to find Lamela, who can make good ground, and he'll play it inside the penalty area. Suso with a shot that's blocked. It hits Lindelof, but not on the arm. But it was frighteningly easy,
wasn't it? The way they just picked United apart there, the home team. Fernando just strolled out from about 20 yards outside of his own box, across the halfway line, down the left-hand side to Lamela, who strolls into a dangerous area, finds Suso, man over at the far post, and his shot was blocked by Lindelof. He screamed for a penalty, and the referee wasn't having it. Too easy, far too easy.
Barney turning it forward. Maguire, and it's Casemiro who can't turn, and will be able to bring it away, but he's giving it away. It's just been a sloppiness about United at the moment. Enesiri towards the left-hand side of the penalty area. Cunha thrashes it in, and Campos!
What a goal.
2-0. And Manchester United are in desperate trouble. 2-0 down on the night, 4-2 down on aggregate, and now they have to replicate the comeback that Sevilla showed at Old Trafford a week ago. It was Casemiro's loose pass who was the catalyst for this second goal, and Sevilla making their way forward. Dallo having a part to play as well, and Campos the man to fire it in, and Manchester United are 2 down before half-time.
Yeah, brilliant finish. It's a terrific goal. It really is. It's a lovely strike. I tell you what, Jim, I'm not sure it's going to count. Acuna looks like he's in an offside position, so that has to be checked. The finish from Campos is brilliant, no denying that. Sloppy from Casemiro in possession. I think the left back is in an offside position. No doubt that's being checked right as we speak.
It is indeed. It is really close, having seen the replay. And the fact that they're still looking at it. We'll tell you exactly how close it is. Tiago Martins is the VAR. The confirmation checking for potential offside leading up to the goal. My gut feeling, having seen the replay, and it's very difficult with parallax error and all sorts, you never quite got the right angle, you're not looking at it straight. My gut feeling is it might be offside, but it's a photo finish either way.
It really is. Still, the referee has waited for instructions. All the players are walking up to him, but it must be so close, this one. It really is. Campos is looking to the skies, praying that this one counts.
Well, there are inches in it, maybe only fractions of inches in it. It's a massive decision, this. What's it going to be? It's going to be offside, I think. It is. They've got away with it.
Let off.
It's a massive let off.
Yeah, huge moment in the game, that. If United had that one have counted. Again, oh, it's so close. I mean, it is literally the two lines. We're watching images of the lines drawn on the screen, almost touching each other, Jim, aren't they?
It's his left shoulder that is in the offside position. Both of his feet were onside. So his feet were behind the Manchester United back line. His shoulder just in front of it, and Acuna offside. So it remains Sevilla 1, Manchester United 0. And here's Anthony bringing it forward as United look for a response. They might get it here with Martial. Poor shot which was blocked by Navas. They'll still get it back inside the penalty area. Not really doing anything with conviction. Sancho goes down inside the box. That'll be checked as well. And Navas is able to get it away. But Martial just didn't look as though he really knew what he was going to do with that, what he was trying to do with that. Sevilla will break quickly at the other end. When they do get it forward, they get it forward rapidly. Campos with a layoff. Suso trying to beat Dallo. Gets to the byline, chips it in, and a little flick header at the near post from the striker. Lamela took it away from Campos coming in behind him. Manchester United in all sorts of bother here.
Yeah, when they're defending United, they look... there's a bit of chaos in what's going on back there. Just seeing that challenge from Fernando, he lunges in. He does put his foot on the ball, but his momentum wipes Jadon Sancho out. I mean, again, seen penalties given for a lot less than that. The referee right on top of it didn't want to know. Let it go.
So Cunha to take this throw for Sevilla. 90 seconds remaining in the first half here on Talksport. Manchester United trailing 1-0, but a fraction of an inch away from being 2-0. Suso by the corner flag. He's a man that scored in a Europa League semi-final against Manchester United in the past. The former Liverpool man who had 20-odd appearances for the Reds at the start of his career. He's won a throw here down by the corner flag. West Ham won again 1. So it's dead level on aggregate. Manchester United looking for an equaliser as well. The Hammers have found one. United looking for one.
I wouldn't hesitate in bringing Marcus Rashford on. I don't know exactly how much work he's done. Has he missed the last couple, Jim?
Yeah.
Get him on over at half-time. I wouldn't think twice about it. They need more up front. They need more threat. They need somebody up there with some confidence who looks like he can do some damage.
Suso. And Anthony's fouled him. He was judged to a foul. Lindelof was quick on the scene as well. Without wishing to labour the point, Martial's been a huge disappointment tonight. I know Eric Ten Hag has spoken in the past about the fact that he thinks that Martial is the real deal and possibly the best finisher at the club, but it just doesn't look as though he's got any kind of confidence.
I keep hearing it, I never see it. Hearing about how good, how much ability, potential. We can't keep talking about potential with Anthony Martial, who's been around for years. I want to see it. I want to see some threat. I want to see some genuine attacking intent when he picks the ball up, but nothing tonight.
4 minutes of stoppage time. We're in the first of them. Maguire heads the free kick away. Gudelia playing it back for Navas. Navas inside the centre circle, drives along the ball forward. Dallo couldn't reach, he jumped for it and it went over his head, but then went past Suso and had a play for a throw to be taken on the Manchester United. Eric Ten Hag, I'm sure can't wait to get him at half time, and he might like really getting into his team, because they haven't done themselves justice in any shape or form tonight. Irrespective of the manner of the goal that they conceded, they've just been second best.
Yeah.
As well, free kick here, and it's best to stop him taking it quickly. The referee just lets that go. Christian Eriksen's got it. Christian Eriksen drags the ball over the halfway line back into Sevilla territory. 1-0 the Spanish side lead. 3-2 the aggregate. The guys are out now. Already through tonight in the Conference League. They play the winners of West Ham. Juventus at the moment the aggregate winners of the other tie in this half of this draw. 1-1 on the night. They're 2-1 up on aggregate. Manchester United the insurance first Thursday, May the 10th, but they've got a lot of work to do. They've got a corner now to try and help them do it. Anthony will come across to take it, and then will vacate the scene and try and work it short. Casemiro's forward, Harry Maguire in there as well, so a break from set pieces. Anthony has delegated responsibility to Eriksen. It's going to be Christian Eriksen to take it. 90 seconds of the first half to go. It's in deep. It's down by Maguire. Headed away by Gadelia inside the 6-yard box. Maguire will pick it up again. Goes to the dead ball line, but it's not the best balls. He looks for Jadon Sancho, and Sevilla have played out, and the counter-attack is on, and the Manchester United defenders who push forward are doing their best to try and get back. They haven't got their defensive shape back yet. The ball went across the edge of the 6-yard box, and nobody could get a touch. The closest to it, a retreating United defender who was just able to steer it the right side of the post and out of play for a corner, but it was close to being an own goal.
Yeah, the Campos is, who does brilliant on the edge of his own box, manages to wriggle past a couple of United challenges within seconds. They're whipping the ball right across the 6-yard line and just can't apply a finishing touch, but terrific play again.
In comes the Sevilla corner, headed down, Lindelof volleys it away, and then back through a crowd. It was brilliantly struck, wasn't it? Rakitic from 25 yards, and he really met it sweetly, but it's hitting a United player and bounces over for a corner.
Yeah. Imaziri is who won the header initially from the corner. It was cleared, it come out to Rakitic, and I tell you, he hits this so sweet on the volley. It's a big block from Casemiro.
In comes another Sevilla corner. That one similarly headed away. Casemiro getting it clear, and then a shot comes in from Lamela. That's blocked. Manchester United might be able to end the first half on the counter-attack. Sancho forced by Barde to turn and go back inside his own half. Eriksen looks long. Sabitzer throws himself at it. That's a very good dive-headed pass out to Martial on the left-hand side of the penalty area. He will try and turn away. It's ricocheted off Fernando, and that's the half-time whistle. And the Sevilla players will leave the field to a standing ovation. They have been brilliant. A little bit of good fortune about the goal. They played for it, putting the pressure on Harry Maguire as David De Gea gave him a hospital ball. En-Nesyri able to slot the ball in after Lamela had done well to win it back. They were inches away from a second. Long protracted VAR call eventually found Acuna offside after Campos had put in. Manchester United can only improve, and they have to quite markedly. At the break, it's Sevilla 1, Manchester United 0. Now when it comes down to it, they've had one shot so far on target, Manchester United, and that was to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. That tells you the story really of the opening 45 minutes. Marcus Rashford is on, and so too Luke Shaw. They've taken off Sancho and Wan-Bissaka ahead of this second half. Andy Townsend.
Yeah, it had to be done. I mean, I'm really pleased that Erik ten Hag has done that. You often see coaches wait maybe 5-10 minutes, let the game settle down before they want to make a change. No. Needs must. You've got to get your main man on. Marcus Rashford is on. Looks like he's going to be working off the left side up front, that position that we know he can operate in and be very dangerous. Luke Shaw in as a left back. Diogo Dalot has now gone over to the right back position, but I like the look of it better already. Let's hope they can have an influence on the game.
So we are back underway. Shaw just given a little shove there by Suso, who came on as a substitute in the first half. The ball's gone out of play for an early corner to Sevilla. United lining up De Gea in goal. Dalot, Maguire, Lindelof and Shaw, Eriksen and Casemiro, Anthony, Sabitzer and Rashford, and Martial up front with the Sevilla side after this corner, which is going to be taken on the right flank by Ivan Rakitic. Another performance from him rolling back the years tonight. The 35-year-old has played extremely well. It's going to be a right-footed away swinging corner from the Croatian, and the header goes over the bar. Oh, it's in! It's crept in! It's Bardet! It's 2-0 right at the start of the second half. Rakitic far in the corner, and Bardet with a looping header which just crept in underneath the crossbar. Manchester United making the double change at the break, but undone immediately after the restart.
Yeah, it's a great corner whipped in from Ivan Rakitic. It's an outswinger with his right foot. And there must be a block going on in the box, because Bardet has just found himself a bit of room. He's actually run off of Marcus Rashford, who hasn't even touched the ball yet. It's an outswinging corner with pace on it. Bardet's come off his shoulder. It looked like it was going over the bar, and it has looped agonisingly over the top of David De Gea, clipped at the crossbar and gone down over the line. He's not even got it off the middle of his forehead. It's come off his shoulder, looped up in the air, down over the United goalkeeper, to now give Sevilla a genuine cushion in this game.
And the man who couldn't get a game at Nottingham Forest in the first half of the season has just scored a goal that might provide the death knell for Manchester United in Europe. In the aftermath of all of that, Anthony Martial down injured inside his own penalty area. And Sevilla leading Manchester United 2-0 with 2 minutes gone in the second half. En-Nesyri on 8, Bardi on 47, and slow starts in each of the halves, costing Manchester United dearly. The one thing you'd have to say is that 2-0 to Sevilla is probably a fair reflection now of what we've seen.
They've wanted it more. You know, this game, sometimes we all get so wrapped up nowadays in tactics and in formations and goodness knows what else. Listen, after time, it's about who wants it more, who wants to get out there and go and grab the game and go and make something happen in a game. They've done that. They have done that tonight in front of their own fans. They've done that from the get-go. United have stood and watched and have tried to look like a team occasionally without being one. Big difference.
Manchester United unbeaten in 8 away games in Europe, 4 of those in Spain. But in each of the last 5 seasons, their European campaigns have been ended by Spanish clubs. Is it going to happen again? It's looking that way. It's Casemiro plays it back for Maguire. Nothing will ever convince me that this Manchester United side should be being eliminated by this Sevilla team, but nothing will ever convince me that Sevilla don't richly deserve the 2-0 advantage that they have at the moment.
Yeah, just seen a rerun of the goal again. It's an out-swinging corner that's whipped out towards the penalty spot. It's Bardet that leaps well. He's just walked away from Marcus Rashford. Casemiro is right underneath the ball as well, but the Sevilla centre-half makes first contact off his shoulder and just loops up in the air. And it looked like it was going over the crossbar. It looked like it was sailing away, and eventually scrapes the underside of the bar and over the line.
A freakish goal to an extent. It was such a bad contact from him, really, that had he let it with his head at all, it wouldn't have gone in. But they do deserve it. Sevilla 2, Manchester United 0. Tomorrow's Talksport breakfast show will react to everything that happens tonight. It comes live from Ayr Racecourse ahead of the Scottish Grand National. Paddy McCoist alongside Alan Brazil from 6. The boys will be joined by former Scotland and Rangers striker Kenny Miller. It's Talksport breakfast tomorrow morning from 6 a.m. As things stand right now, they're reacting to a Manchester United European elimination. West Ham's fate in the balance. 1-1 there, 2-2 on aggregate. Sevilla coming forward again. And De Gea just has to scoop a low bouncing Rakitic cross away.
Yeah, dangerous cross that Rakitic off of their left side. Whips it in for En-Nesyri. The centre forward can't get on it, but it looks like it's curling towards the far post, and De Gea has to take evasive action and just dive to his left, get some hands on it. but they're really on top of the game now. The atmosphere is pulsating in the stadium. The fans are right behind their team. There's another out-swinging corner, very similar to the last one that got the second goal.
Thomas Souček hits the bar for West Ham. Savilla 2-0 up. Corner comes in. Oh, it should be 3 to Hayes when it's a block on the line. Some has a real scramble. And Manchester United, goodness knows how, have been able to dig it away. The whistle has gone, and it is a free kick. Gudelia, the man that leaves the fray with his head in his hands. It was a massive save from De Gea in there. And any remote, lingering opportunity that Manchester United had to get through, it's certainly been extinguished had that gone in.
It's a Campos, it is, who actually is 2 yards out, and the ball arrives on his right foot, and he hits it off the bottom of his boot without making any real contact. It's the header that's won it. It's Luke Shaw. He's 2 yards out. If he just makes any sort of contact, he scores. And in the end, he just bobbles it into David De Gea, who makes a save. Incredible let-off.
De Gea turning and got his hip to it to make the save. And Manchester United just about hanging in there. And the first leg, of course, was the perfect illustration that no matter how much it looks as though you've got a mountain to climb, it can all turn around very quickly. 2 goals in the last 6 minutes scored by Savilla then. Manchester United need to come back from 2-0 down tonight. Shaw with a layoff here for Marcus Rashford. Little reverse ball back in towards Shaw, gets to the byline and wins the corner off Barner.
That's better. That's better. Luke Shaw and Rashford combining nicely down the left side. It's ball from Luke Shaw to Rashford. He then runs beyond and gets the return to takes him to the byline. Bardo, the goal scorer, that all-important second goal, does well to block. United corner this time.
So Manchester United trailing 2-0. Christian Eriksen will take it. Breathing very heavily. Now gives the signal to his teammates. He's pointing over towards the touchline at the moment, trying to attract the referee's attention to something. As Rashford sprinting outside the penalty area, wanting a short corner. But United are going to make a change. And Martial is coming off. He got injured in the pushing and shoving that was going on prior to the second goal, but he's been put out of his misery really. Wout Weghorst is on to replace him, and straight away in a position to attack this corner. He's made his way forward in the penalty area. It's swept him very high. Bono gets his hand to it. Navas is able to scoop it further clear for Sevilla. Back from Savilla. Eriksen taking it on. Rolled it on into space on the edge of the penalty area. Sevilla again can clear their lines. Belibar coming out of the edge of his technical area. The new Sevilla coach, so his 5th game in charge tonight, he's still unbeaten. He's telling his team to calm things down. They've drawn the only home game that he's had so far, 2-2 with Celta Vigo. They've won away at Cadiz and Valencia, and they want to fight back at Old Trafford. With a little bit of good fortune on the way. They've easily been 3 up by now in this game. It is at 2 with 9 minutes gone in the second half. Maguire finding Lindelof. Looking Lindelof's going to be able to bring it forward. It's not Christian Eriksen. Eriksen will be able to make his way towards the edge of the penalty area. Lays it off for Marcus Rashford. New dimension to the United front line now that Rashford is on. A man who has scored 28 goals this season, including 6 in 8 games in the Europa League. The ball go back to Harry Maguire. Over on Talksport 2 right now. West Ham 1, get 1. West Ham have hit the bar in this second half, and there's a big moment here in that game, like you right now over on Talksport 2, with a potential handball. Could be a penalty to West Ham at the moment. We'll keep you informed with that. Campos is going to be able to bring the ball away for Sevilla. He'll bring it forward towards halfway and then turn. Back to his right back, Jesus Navas, who's put under pressure. There's an intensity about Rashford's play that we didn't see from Martial. Gudeli's going to be able to bring it forward, and Casemiro's caught him and he's going to get a yellow card. So if United can pull this off, Casemiro will miss the first leg of the semi-final through suspension.
Well, it's good play from Gudelia. It is. Casemiro dangles a leg, and there's actually, I can't see much contact in all honesty, but he's hung his leg out there, and Goodell goes down, goes past him, goes down. It looks like there's contact. I don't think there was anything genuine, to be honest, but nonetheless, Casemiro makes an easy call for the referee there to give him a yellow card.
Ericsson heads the ball back through the midfield. Penalty has been given West Ham's way. Their course forward towards Rashford, and Navas has just got a right toe to it and been able to divert it away from him. The goalkeeper pounces on the loose ball.
Lucky, yeah. Weghorst gets a clever little flick from Sabitzer, then tries to find Marcus Rashford, who makes a good run between full-back and centre-half, and they just do enough to deny him.
Again, the West Ham is Lucas Paquetá, who is going to take the penalty for the Hammers, and his stuttering run-up, he's fired into the top right-hand corner. West Ham 2 get 1, they're 3-2 up on aggregate. And as things stand, heading through to the semi-finals to take on Dutch side AZ. Manchester United, on the other hand, as things stand with 33 minutes to go, are heading out of Europe. They're 2-0 down in Seville against the Sevilla side, 13th in La Liga. They've only won 5 of the 14 home games this season. Suso, run away past Ericsson. Ericsson's able to clear it right-footed. High, long ball forward. Out comes Bono, the goalkeeper. It's a poor clearance from him. Weghorst's touch, not the best. He tried to play it down towards Anthony. And Bono is back between the sticks. Fernando's going to be able to get it away eventually for Savilla anyway. Towards the Campos. Movement comes ahead of him down the right-hand touchline from Suso. Suso back through the field for Campos again, and they've currently played around Ericsson to get it back to the former Liverpool man. Suso with a cross. That was blocked. Casemiro can help get it away. And now Anthony will bring it forward. Just over half an hour. They're 2 down. Extra time and penalties on the agenda if necessary tonight, but Manchester United with a mountain to climb. Rashford working onto his right foot, couldn't get himself into a shooting position. Pass through towards Weghorst was blocked. Ericsson will be able to pick it up and play in Anthony. Anthony with a little scoop over the top. Weghorst heading it down. Gudelia is with him. He's still got it down by the byline. Goes to ground. It's just a tumble rather than anything else. He wasn't fouled, and Barde's going to be able to bring it away.
Yeah, good defending in the end from Barde. But more urgency about what United are doing now. More numbers playing in Sevilla's half. They need that.
Casemiro and Anthony with a little 1-2. Shaw can bring it forward. Rashford has it. Just having to maintain some belief. Have been second best by and large, but still trying to get themselves back into this. Dallo to Christian Eriksen. Eriksen's low ball in. It's blocked by Acuna. Goes out of play for a throw. The referee has just asked for play to be stopped for a moment because he wants a word with Anthony, and he's booked him for foul on Acuna.
Yeah, although Acuna, to be honest, I think initially he looked like he came in quite dangerously on Anthony, and he reacted to that. He's got himself a yellow card.
West Ham heading through, because Declan Rice has just scored another. It's West Ham 3, get 1, 4-2 on aggregate, and the Hammers are going to make it through to a European semi-final for the second successive season. Manchester United, on the other hand, may well not. Campos, he's been fouled by Sabitzer, and the free kick on halfway will be taken by Sevilla. They've got half an hour, and Manchester United need some inspiration. They've made the changes, they've looked a little bit better, there's more intensity, but they still need more.
No, they do. And again, look, when you play without Weghorst, when you play him up front, don't deny him the ball in the air. He's not the most aggressive, but others can just get in and around it. If people are prepared to hang the ball up in the box, it's not easy to get distance from a cross that's hung up in the air. You know, so you make sure that if that ball is delivered into the box, you get people around Weghorst looking for that ball to drop.
He has come off the bench in each of the last 3 games. Without Weghorst, the man who's still only scored twice for Manchester United. It's his 23rd appearance for the club tonight. Did score against the other side from Seville, Betis. 21 in the League Cup semi-final against Forest as well. 160 goals in his career, and he showed his ability for the big occasion with those two that he got coming off the bench for the Dutch against Argentina in the World Cup. But it's similar super sub performance. They possible seemingly scenario in that game, the Dutch of course inspire Manchester United in a similarly tricky scenario tonight. Here's Marcus Rashford now towards the edge of the box. Backheel flick from him, brings Shaw into it. Shaw stands it up, flicked in towards the far post. Everybody had made a run into the centre. Savilla clear it, but Casemiro can pick it up. Eriksen goes back towards Maguire. Maguire out to the right hand side. Casemiro again. Anthony over the top. Four Sevilla players coming in on it, including Rakitic, who won it cleanly, and he should be able to clear it down the left-hand touchline. He can. Maguire though wins it back, keeps it in. Poke forward towards Casemiro. 62 on the clock. 2-0 Manchester United trail. Rashford back for Eriksen. Eriksen sliding it forward. Casemiro, Sabitzer. Casemiro emerges with possession, and Bono makes a save to a shot that might just have been curling in. Bono getting both hands to it, kind of punched it into the floor, and it bounces to safety.
Yeah, better spell for United. Casemiro right up on the edge of the 18-yard box. Just manages to find the ball, a yard of space, and the ball on his left foot through a ruck of players, and the goalkeeper actually might have been a little unsighted, manages to spring to his right to save that. But again, just by getting it in the box, just by playing up to Weghorst and just seeing what happens in and around him, United look a little more dangerous. It's better from them.
This is day 11 of 25 consecutive days of live football on the Talksport network. Tomorrow night it's Arsenal against Southampton, top against bottom in the Premier League. Arsenal's final game before that massive showdown with Manchester City that we will bring you live next Wednesday night. The title decider before the title is decided. Now it's coming your way Wednesday night from the Etihad, live on Talksport. We also have both FA Cup semi-finals for you live over the weekend, as well as Fulham Leeds on Saturday, Liverpool Nottingham Forest here on Talksport 2 on Saturday, Lancashire Derby from Deepdale as Preston hopes Blackburn. It's 5:30 Saturday tea time on Talksport 2, and then on Sunday it's West Brom Sunderland and a second FA Cup semi-final as Manchester United, who may well be licking their wounds at that stage, take on Brighton, hoping that they aren't eliminated from another cup competition. We're going ahead of ourselves. We're still in this one, but they desperately need a little bit more cut and thrust at the top end of the pitch. The shots few and far between, and there are only 27 minutes to go. They've got to find two without reply.
They have indeed, but Savilla were able to do that at Old Trafford by hook or by crook. Scruffy goals we know, but they did manage to do it in just a few minutes. So United have to keep the faith, keep going, keep playing. There's been signs that they're looking a bit better. Certainly every time the ball, when it comes out to Rashford, he looks like he's in the mood to do something.
Now Eriksen finding Weghorst. The right-footed effort from here is a really good block from Gudelia, who threw himself into the line of fire. Dalot, with great desire, has won it back from Lamela. But Manchester United still see the move break down. Suso takes a tumble off the ball, and now the ball is played down towards Enesiri. He scored the first goal, and he'll take on Victor Lindelof. Check back inside onto his left foot, and chips the ball through the midfield. Ball forward from the edge of the penalty area is a looping effort, and De Gea, after a deflection, can't stop the corner. Suso's shot hitting the nearest Manchester United player, but nothing David De Gea could do about it. It is a corner.
Yep, it's a corner, yep. Good play that as well from Savilla. Under pressure initially, then they broke out. Campos it was who initially picked the ball up, fed it wide. It eventually finds its way to Suso. That shot is deflected out for another Savilla corner.
And no bother for West Ham. They're 4-1 up now. It's been a brilliant start to the second half for them. Ibarra scored 3 in the opening 20 minutes since the resumption. Antonio on the score sheet again. Here comes this Sevilla corner, headed into the ground by Enesiri. Comfortably picked up by David De Gea.
Free header. It's a big powerful header, Enesiri. Out-swinging corner. It's actually beyond the penalty spot, between penalty spot and edge of the 18-yard box where Enesiri made contact. Nobody really anticipating, but United again got to keep pushing forward. They've got to keep, I think, don't be afraid to play that little bit longer. Don't be afraid to go in behind Savilla. Not everything's got to be perfect into feet. When they try and play a little too slow and a bit predictable, they allow Savilla to get back into a shape, to narrow down and make life really difficult. You've got the sort of players now at the top of the field that just get it up to them. Remember, it hasn't always got to be perfect, just get it in and around them.
This is the Sevilla side that sold Diego Carlos to Aston Villa and Jules Koundé to Barcelona over the summer, and so angered Lopetegui, the then coach. He said if you rip out a lung and a heart, you have to regenerate. He then, in the next breath, said that his team have a glass jaw. Not too much sign of that, albeit that they're on the second manager since. But they've sorted things out for them. They've played well, and they're 25 minutes, less than 25 minutes away from yet another semi-final in this competition. But they have been beaten at home by Chelsea and Lille and Manchester City and Dortmund twice over the last couple of years or so in Europe. Still time for Manchester United. Ball's over the line, out of play. So a goal kick will be taken by Bono, and we've got all the game remaining. Manchester United need to score 2.
They do indeed. As I mentioned, they have looked a little better. But again, whenever they get the chance to take the sting out of the game, Sevilla are doing exactly that. They're defending quite deep now, in numbers. No real pressure on United when they've got the ball. They're allowing Maguire and Lindelof to get up on the halfway line with the ball at their feet. And they're just trying to intercept whenever they're playing into Weghorst and in and around Rashford. They're looking then to squeeze and to deny space to those United forward players.
The referee has just asked for a break before the goal kick is taken. There's going to be another change made by United. Sabitzer off, and Fred has come on to replace him, Andy Townsend.
Yep, not really seen too much of Sabitzer this evening. Had a few challenges and a few fouls, and just always again just on the edges of things now. Fred is one of those players, he can come on and be influential at times. Got to try and see a little bit of that. Hopefully he'll get himself involved at the top of the field and can just make something happen.
So United have one change left. There's still got Peristri and Elanga on the bench in terms of attacking options. With Bala Malacia, the other two outfield players that can be called upon. Obviously, we didn't make the run that Suso was expecting on that occasion, and felt as though he was going to be offside. So he checked and United get it back.
Jim, if they can get one, United, if they can, I don't know how it's coming, if they can just get one, they'll panic like crazy, Sevilla. They really will.
Fernando giving them an opportunity here because he's thrown himself into an aerial challenge, caught Casemiro in the process. So it's a free kick going to be taken by Manchester United. It's not in a shooting position, it's 15 yards outside the penalty area, and then it's just worked in. It's done so with a real lack of finesse and quality, and Sevilla can bring it away again. Suso looking for end the series run this time, then holding it up and going to his right instead for a Campos. Campos taking it on Shaw, firing it in and away behind the goal for a goal kick. 69 gone, Sevilla 2, Manchester United 0 on Talksport.
And they just got that free kick moments ago, 40 yards from Sevilla's goal, trying to take a quick free kick into feet, and it was very easily intercepted. Load it up into the box, just clip it up in there, as I mentioned earlier, and allow Weghorst and Maguire, the bigger guys, to just get in and around it. I think of Sevilla's goals last week, they get high up the field, chasing a game, they put it into the box, and all of a sudden with a couple of poor play from Malacia and then Maguire deflection, all of a sudden they draw a game they've got no right to. United have got to play a little bit more like that. And they're going side to side, they're keeping the ball, they're passing and probing and waiting for that right moment. Don't be afraid to put it in the box either.
So at the moment, Bayer Leverkusen going through their 4-2 up on aggregate against Saint-Gilloise. Casemiro for Weghorst here. Sevilla going through in this one. Europa League final 1-0 on the night. That's dead level at 1-1. Eriksen's cross is blocked. And Juventus still 2-1 up on aggregate against Sporting. That's 1-1 tonight as well. Ball headed away by Gudelia inside his penalty area, and a left-footed overhead kick from inside the box gets it clear from Lamela. Fred bringing it forward and wins the free kick from Fernando. Just play for it a little bit, potentially. That's certainly how Fernando saw it, but the free kick to Manchester United is in a much better area, because this one is about 8 yards outside the penalty area, and it's right of centre, favouring a left-footed shot.
Yeah, it's a good chance, this good situation. Fernando's worked really hard. He just a little clumsily clattered into Fred there. So we have got a free kick. It's a fair way out. It's, 26, 27 yards out. But that does give you an opportunity to really get some pace into this, knowing that you can get it over that wall and back under the bar. 3 or 4 players around it. There's Fred, there's Ericsson. Rashford, of course, we know how well he can strike a ball from this sort of situation. Must hit the target here and follow it in. Make sure players are following in, because the goalkeeper is one of those guys, doesn't want to catch anything, just wants to punch and flap everything away.
So Bono is leaning down by his left-hand post. He's making sure that his wall is in the right place. Then he's moved away, and he's actually, strangely, just adjusted his position a little bit. Rashford, Ericsson and Fred. 3 standing over. Fred making his way towards it. Nobody was spoiled. It is Ericsson! Oh, it was only a fraction wide. Really well hit.
It was great shape on it, wasn't it? Ericsson went across the wall to the goalkeeper's side, actually. Bono, he was, who stepped to his left, and then once he sees the ball, he scrambles to his right. There is a slight deflection off the wall. Christian Eriksen is absolutely spot on. It's Fernando. It comes off. Had it not have touched him, I tell you what, the goalkeeper might have been in trouble.
Bono beaten, but Manchester United still haven't found what they're looking for. 2-0 to Savilla, and United thought that was a corner, and they had a case as well. It just took a flick off the wall. Bono gets a yellow card for time wasting. A goal kick was given, and he's had a yellow card for delaying the restart of play. Jared Bowen has just added another one. West Ham 5, Ghent 1. And the Belgians falling apart there. Great night for the Hammers after a spirited performance against Arsenal the weekend. Ericsson able to bring the ball away. Fred ran into trouble in the form of Lamela. Fernando's got it. Fernando to Ocampos, back to Fernando again. Fernando towards the edge of the penalty area. United concede again, and it surely is all over. Ocampos to the right hand side of the box. Suso's ball in, hits short, deflects over the bar for a corner.
Good play that from Savilla. Got a man over there. Cross from Suso in the end is blocked by Luke Shaw, out for another corner. Again, in no rush to get out there and whip this in, the home team. Clock and seconds gradually ticking away from Manchester United.
Jared Bowen goal for West Ham has actually been disallowed. It is 4-1. 5-2 they lead on aggregate. It's academic they are going through. Corner then to Savilla. Rakitic taking it. Heads go up for it, edge of the 6-yard box. It's diverted away towards the edge of the penalty area. Fernando lets fly, and it deflects away off the heels, I think, of Lindelof, and behind for another corner.
That looked dangerous from set plays and set pieces, Savilla. Rakitic got great quality and great feel for dropping it into danger zones. United scrambled it clear. It eventually come to Fernando on the edge of the box. Poor shot that was going well wide until it hit a red shirt, goes out for another corner.
And Rakitic is going to take this one, as he has the previous 5. Plenty of air underneath it towards the far post. Hits Dallo, bounces back down towards the edge of the penalty area. Fernando to Rakitic, turning back inside, and he thrashed it across the edge of the 6-yard box, and nobody could get a touch to turn it in. That's another let-off.
Yeah, it is a let-off. Rakitic takes the corner, it comes back out to him. Fred turns his back. You never turn your back when someone's shaping up to shoot. He then steps inside Rakitic, hits one with his left foot, flies right across the 6-yard line. Nobody able to apply any sort of touch. Had they been able to do so, that would have been number 3.
Only lost 4, their last 43 games in the Europa League. Manchester United, that does include everything to Savilla. Semi-finals 3 seasons ago. They lost that one 2-1. They found themselves 2-0 down tonight. with 15 minutes remaining now. All on Talksport. Miller to Harry Maguire. This is a performance that certainly will be dissected at great length. They haven't got going tonight. They've been a little bit better in the second half after the double change, but even then, there just hasn't been the free-flowing Manchester United that we have seen on occasion. It's not in evidence at all. Anthony playing it forward. Dallow now, sliding challenge on him. It's a corner that's been conceded by Rakitic, but Manchester United's body language is that of a team that believe they're beaten. Yeah.
Well, because they know that gradually this half is now getting away from them. They've got a corner here. Give them a chance. Don't hit the first man. You've got Weghorst and Maguire, Lindelof, good big guys. Give them a chance. Hang it up.
And they've done exactly that. It's Maguire coming in to meet it. He's come off the top of his head. He's claiming a deflection, but nothing given. It's a ball kick.
It's too much on it there, Harry Maguire. It's the right sort of corner. It's coming in and leaps at the far post, makes good contact, but too good. Hits it high and handsomely over the top of the crossbar.
Ten Hag, a study of frustration on the edge of his technical area. Never particularly animated, but just looking bemused really by what he's seen. He would necessarily have anticipated the kind of listless performance that Manchester United have produced tonight. And ball shot goes against Lindelof. The referee's assistant was really well placed, said it was fine. He's been able to clear under duress. He finds Shaw to Fred towards Eriksson, who couldn't feel the ball that was hit at him so briskly and away from the side of his body. Shaw then pulls up in putting the ball off the island and out of play for a throw. That will be a concern. He's going to try and labour on and run it off. I hope it's just an impact injury and he'll be okay.
Yeah. Good pressure from Savilla there down in this right-hand corner. Not letting United out, not letting them breathe at all.
And then Shaw looked as though he was beaten and the ball was going to go over the line. He was fouled by Lamela, who has himself ended up on the deck, and he's initially rolling around, and then he has a look and is almost back on his knees to ask a question of the assistant referee. Then he's having some cramp treated, and meanwhile play continues, but Shaw's not right. We're just I think you look at him now, he's
limping a bit. I don't know exactly what happened there, Jim. I think it's more of a contact injury.
It's the game of the weekend because of a thigh problem. I hope it's not an exacerbation of that. Here's Casemiro trying to get it in, and the goalkeeper actually did well in the end to drag his hands away from the shot, knowing it was going to go wide. Had he got anything on it, he might have tipped it into Eriksson's path.
Yeah, it's unlucky that from Casemiro. Anthony is on the right side, Rosemir on the edge of the box. I think he's just trying to sort of help that towards the far post area. It's not a shot that's ever going to worry the goalie. You just need somebody else to maybe go around the back post and just try and apply a finishing touch.
Manchester United leaving it late. 11 minutes to go. Savilla going to make another change here. Lamela is coming off, and from the top of the player replaced by another. Brian Hill's still on the roster at the moment, but on loan with Savilla. 31 appearances he's made for Spurs. The Spanish international is going to get 10 minutes or so here to impress.
Yeah. Eric Lamela, a typical performance from him. Not great with the ball, no real end product, but I tell you what, he has worked hard. He's grafted away, up and down the park, throwing himself into challenges, making sure that whoever he's up against doesn't have it all their own way, and that's all you can ask for sometimes.
So Brian Hill comes on to replace Lamela. 10 minutes to go. Roma 2 final nil on the night at the Olympico, so they're 2-1 up on aggregate. So Roma looking as though they're going through. Bayer Leverkusen going through. Juventus with a narrow advantage against Sporting. And Savilla going through with them and not Manchester United. United need to score twice in the last 10 minutes, as Savilla did last week, to take the game to extra time. Maguire out to the Manchester United right hand side for Dallow. still struggling to create worthwhile opportunities. They've only had one shot on target in each half of the game. Lindelof standing a high ball forward that was just far too easy for the Sevilla line to deal with, and then De Gea comes out and tries to sweep up, and he's out of his goal, and it's knocked in past him, and that's that. Manchester United are out, and it is an unedifying exit from European football. They have been shocking tonight, and they've been brutally exposed with a string of individual errors costing them dearly. And this is a European elimination that will live long in the memory. A night where they started badly and it's just never got better. And this, another goal so eminently preventable. A high hoof ball forward over the top. De Gea came out to try and sweep it, just completely missed it. And in doing so, it's come off the studs of his boot and rolled away square, and then the series walked onto it and tapped it into the net from 25 yards out, but he had nobody to beat. It's Sevilla 3, Manchester United 0. End the series got two of them, and they've both been absolute gifts.
It's a pathetic goal to give away. Embarrassing goal to give away. They've just tried to clear their lines there. In the series, the Sevilla striker hasn't even chased after it. But De Gea has come flying out the goal, gone 15, 20 yards outside the box to try and pull it out the sky as if he's Ronaldo. And in the end, he just puts the bottom of his boot on it, totally miscontrols it, drops it to En-Nesyri, who just rolls it in from 35 yards into an unguarded net. I mean, it's laughable. If you saw it on a Sunday morning, you'd laugh, you really would. It's absolutely embarrassing. It really is. The way that they have handed these goals and these situations to Sevilla. A team that aren't particularly good, but have got heart and have got guts and have got spirit. They've got a 3-goal lead against United.
Now Rashford bringing it forward, but couldn't do it all himself, and Sevilla clear. It's his 535th Manchester United game. He's been part of the furniture for so long, David De Gea, and as a shot stopper, he is one of the very best goalkeepers we've seen in the 21st century.
What's he doing there though, Jim? That ball has come flying out, and he's tried to pull it out the sky. Right, 15 yards outside of his box, and he miscontrols it so badly, he ends up presenting a free shot at an empty net for En-Nesyri, who can't believe his luck tonight. He's been gifted 2 goals. It's the mind boggles, honestly. It really does.
De Gea, a goalkeeper that has moments of brilliance, but more than most others, when it goes wrong for him, it does so quite spectacularly. And this is one of those nights where it's all unravelled. Doesn't have a save to make this time as Suso fires it over the bar from a bobbling delivery on the edge of the penalty area. We're just seeing it again, and he just comes out to clear it.
Even if he could let it bounce. You don't want to ever let a ball bounce, but he's got nobody near it. En-Nesyri is 15 yards away, Jim?
Yeah.
It's 15 yards away from him. He could have let the ball bounce, and if it goes 15 foot up in the air, he can wait for it to come back down. That's how much time he would have had. Instead of that, he tries to control it and only miscontrols it and presents them with another open goal.
Well, it was a mistake you would think that was made, born of his desire to get the ball forward as quickly as he possibly could to try and get Manchester United on the front foot again. And instead, we've seen them concede a third, and they're going to be eliminated. And to add insult to injury, Sevilla have just brought on a player on loan from Manchester United. Alex Telles has replaced Acuna. There will be a long inquest about this, and the first inquest starts on the sports bar. 03717223344. You can have your say at the conclusion of this game. Here's taking your calls here on Talksport. West Ham are going through comfortably, and Manchester United are being eliminated with egg on their face. Now he gets free. 5 minutes left. Nearly 3 unanswered goals to take it to extra time. And the stadium is absolutely bouncing.
It certainly is. It is rocking. And so it should be. from their point of view, fair play to them. They wanted it more. They were determined to get this game done tonight. Got out of jail last week, Savilla, but tonight they've been the better team, and their appetite, their hunger for it has been impressive. They've had people like Fernando. Campos has worked really hard. They lost their centre-half, don't forget, early on, but shrugged that off and got on with it. Scored 3 goals. Could have had 5, had 1 disallowed. United have had a couple of shots here and there, the odd little moment, but in the main, they have been completely whipped tonight. They really have.
United will make their final change. Eriksson off and Alanga comes on. And not only does this mean the end of the European dream for Manchester United for another season, but it also will put pressure on their performance in the FA Cup semi-final against Brighton, who will be looking at the way that United are playing tonight and really believing that they can capitalise on it when they meet in the FA Cup semi-final live on Talksport Sunday tea time.
Yeah. If your attitude isn't right, if you're just not spot on in that respect, at grounds like this, places where notoriously over 20 years it's been hard to come here and get wins in this competition. If you ain't ready and you're not up for it, you're going to get done. And United, I think tonight, their mindset early on was just to slow things down, and they became predictable, ended up going back to the goalie and creating problems.
And it could get worse. Rakitic playing it in towards the end of the series on a hat-trick, but Shaw slid in to knock it away.
Yeah. Now, it's bad enough as it is. If they're not careful, they'll concede another here and really get embarrassed by what's been happening. And it's like the worst possible performance from them. I've been really surprised at the way they approached the game, and after they conceded that first goal, then their reaction hasn't been great. And as I said, they've only showed a little bit when they made the changes at half-time. But so many United players tonight on the edges.
Sousa plays the ball inside the penalty area, and Harry Maguire comes to meet it, diving header, can steer it clear out of harm's way. Rashford dropping off towards the edge of his own penalty area is able to turn. Boy, they miss Varane and Martinez and Bruno Fernandes tonight. So you look at that and say, okay, there were mitigating circumstances, but from the position they were in, 2-0 up with 6 minutes to go in that first leg, to the position they're in now is a monumental fall from grace.
It certainly is.
Dallin. They flew down the right-hand side by Alanga. Now Rashford. Dankos trying to get across the near post, and Rashford hit it 3 times as hard as he needed and just volleyed it effectively straight out of play for a throw.
Yeah, he's trying to put a lot of pace on that, Marcus Rashford, and just gets underneath it too much. And yeah, just incredible. Absolutely right when you consider last week how close they were to being in total control of the tie. So all of a sudden coming here. Now look, last night I mentioned about City, there's a shot there coming in. Who's that one from? Alanga, yeah.
On target percent.
I mentioned about City, strangely for them last night, being in that scenario, 3 goals up, not necessarily looking to go that crazy, getting people forward. Well, you can understand that when you're 3 up. That's not the case for United tonight. They came here with the game very much in the balance. They needed to impose themselves. That first 10 or 15 minutes, all they were interested in doing was just rolling it across the back, going back to the goalie, going into midfield, then coming back to the centre halves, out to the fullback, back to the goalie, and eventually run into trouble.
They've had 2 defeats in all competitions since the end of January. A 7-0 loss at Liverpool and a 2-0 loss at Newcastle, where I was there that day. Had it been 6, I don't think too many Manchester United fans could have argued really. They were very, very poor that day as well. When it goes wrong for them, boy does it go wrong. Here's Marcus Rashford at the other end and trying to find a way through. Deli was there with a very good block. It's gone out of play for a corner, but I think that's only the second United have won in this second half as they try to chase the game, and we're going to stoppage time before it's taken.
Good run from Marcus Rashford. I'd also have to question the team that Ten Hag picked to start with. Again, I think Rashford's been such an influential player for them. I know they want to protect him, but sometimes you can't. Sometimes there are games where you can't protect players all the time. You've got to put them out there.
Maguire heads an Anthony corner down. It's going to be cleared, and Savilla will try and break quickly, but Shaw is back to Mopper.
Yeah. Just wonder, I know hindsight's a wonderful thing. Easy. He's sat here in terms of the team selection, but
it's the early goal that is good. It's the manner of the goal as well. The first one that they conceded with the horrible mistake between De Gea and Maguire, and it just looked as though it shook Manchester United to their very core. It was one goal. That's all it was. And again, that's so easy for me to say, but and substandard performances that Ten Hag wouldn't have legislated for, particularly Martial, who was lucky to last into the second half, Sancho, who didn't, Wan-Bissaka, who was also hooked off at half-time. Just so many disappointing facets to this performance from Manchester United. So we're going to try and bring forward Rakitic as run out of the room. It's going to be a Manchester United play. 2.5 minutes to go.
Rakitic played ever so well, hasn't he? What did you say, was he now 35? 35. He's been a top player at top clubs, but again, been at the heart of a lot of the good stuff that they played tonight, Savilla, but they've also had a lot of players that have just played with a lot of guts and a lot of courage, a lot of heart. Not necessarily particularly brilliant.
Casemiro from distance, it's hit Barney on the edge of the penalty area, will be cleared. Suso playing it forward, and another opportunity for Savilla to make headway inside the Manchester United half. A sliding challenge comes in to stop that, and Luke Shaw picks up a yellow card for him.
Frustration there for Luke Shaw. He just hacks away at Brian Hill. Knows he's going to get the yellow card there, just bringing him down. But it's been a humbling experience, this, for United. It really has. Lots of people have been saying that they've turned the corner, that they're ready. Well, just goes to show they've got a bit to do yet. They have, if United want to get back to where they feel they belong. They've got a long way to go yet.
Free kick has been given away. It's Tony Casemiro who's caught Rakitic and helps him back to his feet very sportingly, but it's going to be a free kick which will take Sevilla just outside the penalty area. They are a team in the bottom half of La Liga. Yes, they have improved, particularly at home in recent weeks. Nevertheless, they're a side that have a substantial negative goal difference in the league, who lost more games than they won, who picked up the 5 points at their group stage in the Champions League this season, including a big home defeat in Manchester City, which the wall about. They've been excellent tonight, but they've been allowed to be excellent. Here's Gudelia playing it in, Casemiro breaking out to block it. The loose ball goes down towards the corner flag. Nobody will be in a hurry to take this with 20 seconds to go. It's a throw that Alex Telles will come across to take for Sevilla, and this will be the last phase of play.
Yeah, and I think the United fans, I mean, look, certainly for one, be listening to the sports bar, I'm sure they'll be ringing in their drives and they'll be furious with what they've seen tonight.
It's an abject defeat. Manchester United off the pace, out of Europe. Level of embarrassment, Sevilla. Another Spanish Inquisition that they failed. The 6th European campaign in a row that has been ended by opposition from Spain. They just never got going. Still seemingly playing with the last 6 minutes of the first leg fresh in their minds. Another terrible defensive error gave Sevilla the perfect start, and the series capitalising on David De Gea's horrible ball forward out towards Harry Maguire. Unfortunately, from a United perspective, worse was to come. They survived the VAR call. Barney scored a second early in the second half, and then another shocking error from De Gea enabled then the series to really rub United faces in it late on, as he scored a third into an unguarded net from 25 yards. The season's not over, of course. They got one piece of silverware. They might yet end up with another, but Brighton will fancy their chances in the FA Cup semi-final, having seen this. And if United can only play on a consistent level like this between now and the end of the season, top 4 finish isn't a formality either. This is a truly dreadful night for Erik ten Hag and his man, because when it goes wrong for Manchester United at the moment, it goes wrong in spades, and it has done tonight. Sevilla beating them by 3-0, 5-2 on aggregate.